In today's video, we're going to be working on the Hellcat swapped Ram 1500. So if you guys haven't seen, getting to this stage, we took it the 5.7. It's got a Hellcat motor in it. We'll just show you in a second. We've also got the Hellcat swapped Dakota, but I got to replace the wheel bearing. The truck is going for an alignment tomorrow, but it does need a driver's side wheel bearing. So we got a brand new one here from our sponsor, Whatever It Takes, transmission and drivetrain parts. So I will link them down below. If you guys need different parts, whether it's transmission related, anything to do with making the truck move, they got you covered. So I got a brand new one here. We'll get to that. First, what I'm messing with right now though, is in a previous video, I showed you guys changing out the BCM, the body control module, on one of these trucks, and we upgraded it to a 2016, truck being a 2014. We put a 2016 BCM in it, but there's some strange stuff with some of the older ones, like 13 and 14. For some reason, they don't always play along with some of the software stuff. So now that we've got a 2017 PCM in there, I wanted to put back in the 2016 body control module. It has some extra features and functions on it that I wanted to get for the truck. But when I put it in before, when I had the 2014 PCM in there, it wouldn't soak up the VIN for the truck, and so it was throwing all sorts of errors and codes. So no matter how hard I tried to program the VIN number into the body control module, it wouldn't take. But now that I have the newer computer programmed to the VIN, I tried and tested out the body control module from the 2016, and it instantly just soaked up the VIN number. So now everything's happy and good to go. It's just a matter of programming everything. So I'm actually right now in the process of swapping it. I just transferred over the cables just to try it to see if it would work, and it did. So I'm happy to report that. So here's the 2016 module, the original one's up here. I'm gonna go ahead, swap that out, and then I can make those necessary changes, and we can enable some cool features, which I'll show you guys in just a second, but let me get that part done first. All right, so I just used Alpha OBD to perform a backup of our body control module. You'll see here, if you guys have ever wondered how to do it, I just want to get one last backup vehicle configuration to file. You can also restore vehicle configuration from file. So you see that there, we just stored it. So now I'm gonna go ahead, do the final swap over, disconnect the battery, and then swap it, and then we will load the settings, because the 2016 BCM that I purchased off eBay from a salvage vehicle had like every possible option and 4 doors and all sorts of stuff, which this one does not have, obviously, so we're gonna have to program it as such. Okay, so we've got the new body control module in there, and then we restored it, so you can see it says completed successfully. So we put all the settings that were originally in the 2014 body control module into the 2016 module, so that the computer system is happy, and then we can add whatever features we want from here. All right, so I'm just in the process of removing the wheel bearing, and if you're wondering how I know, we've got the brake caliper removed and the rotor's just on, and hopefully you can hear this sound. It has a noisy bearing. Not only that, but it actually starts to produce vibration at high speeds, so kind of can hear some clinking around. That's the way my last ones went out as well. It wasn't like any crazy play, but it was producing vibration and that weird clicking sound. So now to get it off, I don't have 4-wheel drive, so it's pretty easy. We got 3 bolts on the back. I gotta pop my rotor off the hub. I do have brakes on order, so a few things. I know people are gonna ask about brakes. What are you doing with the brakes, John? I have power stop drilled and slotted rotors coming, and then power stop pads. So I have the carbon fiber brakes coming from Power Stop as well, which are really good. I have them on my other vehicle, and I've ran them on a few, and they bite way better than stock. And then eventually, depending on how long I keep this truck for, if nobody purchases it, then I will be putting Hellcat brakes on it probably, or some sort of big brake kit. I have the brakes from the Hellcat that I can try to adopt to this, but for now I'm just gonna put on some good pads, and we'll be good with that for now. But anyways, let me get this bearing out of here. Check this out, you guys. So I just used a wire wheel on this, and I don't know if you guys probably saw at the beginning, it was all covered in, it looks like somebody must have went metal on metal on some point on these brakes, because there was just cake all over here. But made it look pretty decent. I could probably keep going with it. I really want to spend a bunch of time, but just using a wire wheel made quick work of this and made it look a lot better. Also did the same on the caliper. I do have brakes on order, like I think I mentioned. So once I actually get the pads and everything, and I disassemble the caliper, I'll get into the little crevices, but that looks way better. I was gonna paint these, at least for Mo Party, but I think just using the wire wheel on them, they look pretty legit. So I'm just gonna do that, and it'll be a lot easier for me as well. But once I get the new brake stuff, I'll deal with that when they're disassembled. So also clean my backing plate because it looked pretty crusty. So let's get this back on here, get our new bearing, and let's throw this thing back together. Boys, it is the next day, and I'm actually taking the truck right now to go get an alignment. So hopefully in a few minutes we will no longer have this crooked steering wheel, and we can lose our traction service ABS light that we got going on right now. Oh my god, I gotta get past this guy. This guy's slinging rocks. He's got no fender flares on that thing. So should be good to go in a few minutes. Let me update you just after we get the alignment. Okay boys, we're finally error free. So we got a new alignment and we cleared it, repositioned the steering sensor in there, and now all of our faults are gone. So let's get back to the shop. Okay guys, so still haven't full sent, but a little bit of baby sauce. I don't think that it's in full 700 mode, just so you guys know, and I'll talk about that in a second. So one of the things with running the Hellcat computer is it has different drive modes, and by default, if you have the black key, which coincidental my key is black, but just with a standard key it'll default to the 500 horse mode. And based on kind of like seat of the pants feel, I'm pretty sure this thing is in 500 horse. Like, it's still no joke, and that wasn't to the floor by any means, but it doesn't quite feel to me like the 700 horse mode, if I'm being honest. Well, we're doing a little bit of data logging so that we can kind of get that stuff dialed in, but I'm happy that this thing is error free, and let's go mess with some stuff, and then maybe we'll get a little bit more data logging in today. Okay boys, bad news. We've got big problems on the HellRAM. The windshield wiper motor does not seem to be engaging. So I actually hooked it up. For some reason, like, I can't even hear the motor spinning right here. So I just hooked up some test leads because I checked all the fuses and everything was good. And when I hit this, you'll see the test light engage. So see the test light engage, see the light. So I'm getting power to it. It's just for some reason the motor just decided to not keep spinning. So I'm gonna maybe tap it with a screwdriver, see if it maybe dislodges something that's stuck in it. But other than that, I might need one of these little motors, or maybe I can pop it out. The only crappy thing is this thing is full of fluid, so if I take this out, it is gonna just puke everywhere. Ooh, tapping it with the screwdriver worked. It sounds really noisy, but we got it back working. All right, we're back in business. So next on the list, we've got this catch can from APR that I am trying to find a location for on the passenger side. So I've got a few just leftover brackets from odds and ends. These are Mopar brackets, so we'll be using factory stuff, and trying to come up with some sort of bracket to mount to these two holes. I think I'm gonna use this one. I think this crease right here, I'm gonna fold over into a 90. Probably chop off some of this here and then mate it up to these two holes. So what I think I'm gonna come up with, and I'll take off this little, this used to be for the fuel lines and whatnot, and I think what I'm gonna do is put a 90-degree bracket off there. So I'll probably take this here and weld it on here on a 90. It probably doesn't make any sense right now, but once I show you guys, it will all make sense. And then once that's done, this catch can is pretty cool. So it's got a little drain on the bottom so we can drain it. Also has a line so we can actually route a little line, you know, wherever we want, so that we don't have to remove the can, and we can just drain the line into a can remotely. So that's pretty cool. And then it comes with all these attachments. So you got 45s, 90s, and straights that click onto here and should be good to go. So let me start messing with this bracket, get it closer to what we want, and show you guys the progress. Okay, a little update for you guys. So there's my bracket. I bent it there, cut off the excess, and then I ended up drilling those holes and getting that all squared away. So now I just need to kind of find its home over there, and then make a little L bracket at the bottom with a bolt hole, and then I can weld it up and we'll be well on our way. Okay, so I've got this little bracket here, and I'm gonna trim this part off, this little end of the triangle here, so that I can tuck it right up, and then it'll give me a little support piece there, and then I'll butt this up right against there, and we'll weld it up, and that will give me my 90-degree bolt hole that I need on the bottom of here. Okay, here's the ugly process of my little bracket. There was a little void there, so I filled it in. Now I'm gonna kind of grind it, make it look half decent. Haven't decided if I'm gonna fill some of these holes or kind of just leave them for that factory like optioned look. I might just leave them just because it makes it look a little more factory in my opinion, because all the factory brackets usually have random holes in them. But let me clean this up and then we'll see what we got. And here it is, all cleaned up, you guys. So looks pretty legit. It's got a little reinforcement there and it does fit. So the bracket fits. Now let's put this back on here. We'll go double check it, see how our clearances are, and then hopefully we can move on to paint. All right, so there she is, boys. She's nice and solid on there, nice and squared up. So I think now I'm gonna take this off, or actually before we do that, let's figure out our lines. So let's make up our lines from here to there, and then from here down to the port on the back. And then once I make up those, then it's official, and I'll take it off and I'll paint the bracket. Okay, so I managed to get these hoses routed. Not much to see here, but that one goes to that port, this one goes to the back port, and managed to fit the cover in place. So I'm gonna take it all off, like I said, paint the bracket. I'm also gonna clean up these hoses a little bit, and then I'll install it and I'll show you guys with the cover back in place. Okay, so here is the bracket that I painted up. So while that dries, I am installing the covers that go over top of the wiring there. The one here by the brake booster, it doesn't quite fit. You can squeeze it in there, but it is rubbing on the brake booster, so I'm just showing you guys that here. And then I managed to push it in, but it is rubbing against the brake booster. So of course you guys know we're gonna adjust that. So here's me using a flap wheel and trimming the section out that's rubbing on the brake booster and just getting it fitted so that we can just put it in nicely. So here it is with the catch can, the bracket's dry, and there is our cover. It's all fitted properly after adjusting it. And I'm gonna go ahead now and install our catch can and then get the hoses back in there and reinstall that cover as well. Okay, boys, so finishing touches right now. Put on this big plastic thing. We've got both our covers on there. Our catch can's looking spicy. I just finished dressing in a couple things over there, and really there's not a whole lot to do. There's one wire I got to deal with, but I can deal with that at any time. But she is looking pretty good, if I may say so myself. Comment down below what you guys think as far as how factory we made this look in a short period of time. Some guys I saw complaining about the AC lines, but these are literally the factory AC lines. It's not like the factory ever decides to make the AC lines look pretty. They kind of just put them wherever they have to, and that's just where they are on the Ram. So I don't really think they look too bad. I might actually, just for fun, if I get some time, I probably can actually use some polish on this and make them look a little nicer, since I think that's the biggest issue most people have, is they aren't that nice looking. But if I take a little bit of compound to these will shine up almost like a mirror finish, and I think people won't have such a problem with them as they seem to right now. But I'm really happy with how it's coming out. Only other thing I want to do is, you guys know that the hood is just the basic Ram hood. At some point I'd like to get something a little more sporty on here, maybe the sport hood, or hopefully something a little more different than that. But in the meantime, I want to take this liner off and either try to paint it, since it's a little brown looking, or just completely remove it. I know some people will say, don't remove it, it's gonna be noisy, but I really don't care. And then some people say, don't remove it, you're gonna bake the paint off the hood. That doesn't happen, you guys, so just so you guys know. But either way, I want to take it off, try to use some fabric paint on it, see how it looks. If it looks like crap, then I'm just gonna leave it off altogether. But as you can see here, it's another long day. It is dark out now, but accomplished quite a bit. I'm really happy with the progress we're making. Catch you guys in the morning. We'll see what we end up with, see what we get into, and then I think the brake stuff is actually supposed to show up. But check out how nice those calipers look. So I got new front rotors showing up in another day or so. We got power stop pads coming, the dustless pads for all four corners, and they bite a lot better. And then we'll replace these crusty front rotors. The back ones are pretty good, and I already cleaned those up, if you guys do or don't remember, a while back. So back rotors, they're all spicy looking, they're all clean, but I will end up cleaning up the caliper itself, same as I did in the front. So pretty good progress. See you guys in the morning. Sun is out, tools are out. I'm gonna take this off like we were mentioning and see if we can't clean it up. So I'm gonna pop all these little clips out and see what I can do with this thing. Okay, so that's off, and I was thinking of cleaning it up, but let me know what you guys think down below. I almost maybe prefer not having it. If I just clean off all the dirt that's underneath here, I kind of feel like it looks better having the whole underside of the hood blue. But as always, comment down below what do you guys think looks better. I don't actually have enough fabric paint to paint it, but let me just, I guess, give it a wash and let it dry. I'm just gonna hand wash it, see how much it cleans up. Maybe a lot of that's just dirt, that brown look. So potentially, maybe I'll just wash it, we'll let it dry, and then we can decide in the next episode with your guys' votes what you would prefer to see. And then other thing too is the emblems, you guys. So we've got the Hemi 5.7s on here. Do you think we should leave these on, keep it sleeper? Or do we remove these, run no badges? Or the other option is I actually have Hellcat badges. For some reason, in my books, I just feel like it's cheesy putting these on, even though the truck truly does have a Hellcat drivetrain. This is what a factory Hellcat emblem looks like, but I only have one of them. And then I have these ones, they're like carbon fiber, but they're exact same size and dimensions and everything. So my buddy Ryan hooked me up with these, but you can see there it's the exact same size and everything, except it's just carbon fiber. So I could put these on. So we have three options: leave the 5.7, debadge it, or put the Hellcat ones. Again, drop down below what you guys want to see. But still no update on this drive shaft. I have been trying my best to get a hold of the place, and to no avail almost 2 weeks later after receiving it. I still don't have an answer on that, which is unfortunate to update you guys about. But that's going to be about it for this video. I want to get this video out to you guys so that you guys aren't left in the dark and you guys are up to date on the situation. So everything's working good. Only other thing is I'm going to go and get the tires balanced, because I feel like there's a little bit of a tire imbalance. So I'm going to get them at that same shop that we went to that did the alignments. They're going to hook me up with a tire balance. They just didn't have a chance to do it or time to do it when I was there. So I'm going to get that done, and then I'm just going to continue to drive this, you guys. Just make sure everything is good and all that. On the next video, I think we're gonna take a quick break from this. I still have to do some stuff, and don't worry, you guys, I will be getting some poles and stuff. The other thing too is I don't want to break it before we get a chance to go all the way to Kentucky. So just, it kind of is what it is. I'm gonna be testing it, running through everything, but I'm not gonna be like doing wide open throttle pulls here, there, and everywhere, trying to attempt to break it, because I do have to make it all the way to Kentucky and back towing this thing. So that's kind of the thing. I was debating like, hey, should I do a bunch of pulls and do this and that? But honestly, as long as it's functional for now, let's test its limits when I get back, when I actually have time for it to possibly break. Not that I want it to break, but just in the event that it does, I would actually have time to contend with it. But on the next few videos, we're gonna be doing some stuff that I wanna get done on the Dakota. So I have to put the fender flares on. I wanna try and get these door panels finally situated. So if you guys remember, we just cut the stock factory door panels to fit the dash, but I wanna finally finalize this. So we've got the newer style door panels over here, and I want to start messing with these, because I think it would be really cool if I could get these done for Moparty. So this is a newer style Dakota panel, and you can see it kind of has a similar resemblance to what we have on the Charger. I'm gonna have to cut a bunch out of here, but I think it's gonna work out good. And then I wanna put our actual Charger Challenger switches in here, so I'll cut this out, drop in the real switches so that I don't have them just kind of laying about. Because right now it's kind of just super temporary status right now. Like, here's the panel, I've got this all void, and I've got the actual Charger Challenger switch here, and it's just kind of chilling there. So I would like to do that. So I'm gonna tackle some of that stuff and just a bunch of little things. We'll get the flares on, hopefully some door panels, still waiting on a condenser, so I'll get that done. So bunch of little things, but thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Check out the other videos on the channel if you guys have not seen how we've gotten to this point on both trucks. And we'll catch you guys on the next video.